Fucking Chris. Today, we are going to talk about samples. Whether or not it's okay to use samples in certain songs, what type of samples can be used, and what type of samples cannot be used. Granted, this entire thing is going to be opinion-based. Don't take my word 100% because maybe it contradicts your beliefs with music production, but this is my take on it personally, so please understand that. So when dealing with samples, we're not going to be talking about the melodic genres such as feature bass, hardstyle, house, happy hardcore, etc. We're going to be talking about more of the heavy side of the spectrum, like dubstep, rhythm, tear out, and etc. So what we're going to kind of look at here is bass samples specifically, or like little glitches, little fills, one-shots, and even loops. So I'm going to be going through a lot of these within melodic elements or heavy elements within a dubstep track, or rhythm track for rhythm tear out for you genre Nazis. Okay, so I guess let's just jump right in this bullshit. Okay, so you can see here we have Ableton open, and I'm just going to kind of go and just set everything up real quick. Okay, awesome. We have our template here. What we're looking at here is a template that I've pre-built to help me with writer's block. Okay, so first off, what we're going to go through is we're going to talk about samples in effect of writer's block, originality, how things work like that. My opinion is samples are okay to use. Why? Well, samples can become a variety of things. We're not going to straight up just throw noise in here and be like, yes, this is our song. No, that's not what we're doing at all. In fact, we're going to take said sample and make it our own, make it sound like us. So if we go here, I have some drums here. So I'm just going to kind of grab a quick kick clap pattern. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the sidechain trigger right here. Copy this guy up here, run him there, turn him a different color because I like to be fucking organized. Okay, now to check shaper box. Okay, cool. It's ducking fine. Awesome. Okay, so right off the gate, what we're gonna do. Let's say we have no idea what pattern we want to do. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of go in here and it's like, okay, fuck it. Let's just grab something that we've already done. Okay, awesome. So we're going to run LaunchSix here, and what we're going to do is we are going to open up this guy, run this. That seems to be a good start because that's kind of where it's pretty meaty. So we're just going to kind of go in here, and then we'll write this all on D#. We're going to run that, and then we're going to kind of go like... right out the gate, we already have our first bass. It's just kind of a little growl that we did. We're just going to turn him down. He's pretty loud. Okay, cool. Now that we have that, what we're going to do is zoom this guy out, go here, run this down, grab D#, go like that. There we go. Now we got a pretty beefy sub-rooney there. Oh shit, that needs to be 7.1. Fuck. Right, what I just did there is I have an attack sub, and I took the same attack sub right there, and I just brought a little swoop in so it's not so aggressive on the second whom here. So it's kind of fitting more for the bass rather than just some straight up aggressive, hi, guess what, I'm anally raping your ears. So now it's a little cleaner. So let's say, shit, I don't have a bass. I wanna take like a machine gun type bass, but we don't really have any noises like that. So what we can do is I actually have some pretty cool samples for these. Like this is really cool, but it'd be just straight up cheating if we just kind of like that would just be kind of annoying. But we can use loops. How can we use loops? We can just straight up be like, oh, I like this one part right here. Take it and delete the rest of it. I'm going to consolidate it. There we go. Now what I'm going to do with this is either A, I could keep it here and use as a layer, or what I could also do is go into here. Here we have serum. And then what we can do here is we can take this guy and shove them in here. So what it did is it made our waveform. So now what we can do is we can remove selected to end, and then we can go back here and we are going to go morph crossfade to make this a little smoother. So that's cool. Now what we can do is we could process and then max from all frames. Now we can create. So we're just gonna run this the other way. We have our like dong dong type thing there. So now what we can do, we can take this and then automate the level. And then we can just apply this. We're going to do an FM from B real quick. So already we have something weird. So what we can do is maybe grab a different wavetable. Or we can compress it. Maybe we need to modulate the FM from B. And then add loads of distortion. But we can modulate this like such. Put it right here. And right off the gate, we already have a different sound entirely. That's not as beefy, but it sounds different than this. It's more something else. And we can use this to process and layer. So I'm just going to finish processing this guy. Okay, so that's going to be our noise for right now, which we can do a decent amount with. But there's something up with it. So it's not as beefy as we want it to be. So that's fine. What we can do is we can freeze it. We can duplicate it, group it, flatten, audio. Now what we can do is we can grab a fat rack real quick. Throw this guy on. So already it's a lot beefier. What we can do now is we can grab more saturators and just immediately like beef up this guy right here. Show automation, on, off, freeze track. Now we have this guy. Now this one, that has some cool like reverb undertone to it. So what we actually can do here is now layer these two. And we have roughly something else different. I'm just gonna write a melody with this real quick. Cool. Very cool. So right here we have, I guess, a basic pattern for what we want to do. When I say basic, I mean it's literally generic as fuck. And now we have sub bass. There's our sub pattern slash tear out machine gun sample thing. So what we're looking at here now is this sample here. This could maybe, you want to make it a little more original. Maybe you have like a weird signature sound or something like that. So what we can do here is we can process this and just add like a disperser or something. I don't fucking know. Well, sure. And then we can start adding other little effects in there to make it sound more unique and unlike the loop that you grabbed it from. If you really want to make it a little different, is you can take out this tail. So it's not so prominent on the original sound. It's just kind of like a little nod back to it. Now together we can have something weird like this, I guess. So the main tonality and the main, not the main girth, the main like girth and attack comes from this guy. In an odd sense, but at the same time it also comes from this. So the drops, the drop with it together sounds obviously like such. but the drop without one of them sounds like. And the drop with the other just sounds like. So, in a sense, we could actually just stick with this, but it would not nearly be as good, I guess, per se, as this would. So that right there already kind of beefs it up a bit. So we can do a lot of different things right here. Just not with these samples to even spice up this drop. Just this little bit. Now this is just coming from one sample. Now what we can do actually under this is we can take some weird ass like little screechy things. So I have a Eliminates pack, and there's a lot of things that I can grab from Eliminates pack, like these weird one-shots. Like, these are really cool. This would be maybe pretty cool to like add over as like a transient bit, like this thing right here. So maybe we can disperser to highlighted D sharp real quick. And then what we'll do is we'll just beef this all the way up, pinch it all the way. Beef that up a lot more. Okay, cool. Now what I could actually do here is I could grab a corpus. And there we go. So corpus is basically a resonator plugin. And we can take this and freeze it. So the original sound that we had was this guy right here. And now, after some little bit of processing, we have that weird thing. Now what we can do is we can freeze this, and we can take out those lows so it doesn't muddy with the sub. And then what we can do is we can grab maybe a transient shaper to make that high end pop a bit more. There we go. And now we'll just kind of drag it in here and see what we got. And it seems it adds more click, which is really, really cool. So I'm just going to kind of duplicate this throughout the entire thing. And do this, and now we have... could be mixed down a little bit better. So that in itself is a way that we can use a sample. So that is very, very cool. Now, keep in mind, this was made from a loop and a weird synth one-shot. But we decided to take the liberty ourselves and go out of our way and process them to make them our own and take that sample to make our main bass right here in Serum, and then post-process it over and over and over and over again afterwards. So pretty much all this thing needs now is some hi-hats to kind of fill it out, or some rides. We'll just grab some rides. So everything is pretty much set and ready to go to just like expand on, accentuate on certain parts to make the sound more unique to you, more beefy. Maybe add like a little screech thing under it, because, you know, you can't really have machine gun basses without a screech under it. I don't know, you can, but... Cool, so that sounds generic as fuck, but not generic as fuck. I mean, you could just mess with the rhythm a bit and just kind of make it more unique to yourself. Ew. As raw and dull as it is, this is not the main focus. That's not the main focus. This is, but it isn't at the same time, and neither is this. But altogether, they are our main focus. And with the sub, that being said, just to accentuate my point, I believe is 100% okay to use samples. Why? Because you can take a sample and turn it into something different, or take the sample, leave it the same, accentuate on its main sound, and build around said sound and still make it your own. That allows for a lot more creative freedom and allows to stop certain points of writer's block. So in the end, I believe it is 100% okay. I hope you guys learned something today.